Welcome back to my channel, Mr. Mental Health. Checking in today. It's Friday, the 30th, April 30th. Um, Man, I'm gonna be back on it. I've been busy with work and trying to handle some end of the year type stuff for my job. So I haven't been posting as much. I got some topics I want to discuss, but I was listening to Charlamagne the God and Miss Ayana. Sorry, I just want to. Hey, how everybody doing? First and foremost, I hope everybody doing well. I hope people are starting to get back out here in society, get these vaccinations, so you could travel and move around. I mean, you may have a theory or whatever your perception is on the vaccination. I got it. I got my first shot on Tuesday. I got the Moderna. It hurt like the hockey sticks. Yeah, that word. Arm was sore. I think it's a little tender now. It was real sore Wednesday night. I didn't get sick though, but I did have some real. I couldn't even lay on it. It reminded me of the Tetanus shot, whatever the shot is you get, and it's supposed to keep you good for 10 years from rat bites or any kind of poisonous kid bites or whatever. But but today's I was listening to Charlamagne the God and Miss Ayana, and they were talking about the difference between growth and healing, and I'm gonna quote a lot of what she was saying, but I want to touch on it. So she was saying that from a growth perspective, that you got to learn how to, from a growth, like a lot of people with growth. She asking, are you doing growth work or healing work? And I think a lot of times we do a lot of growth work, you know what I mean? And what she was saying is that you neutralize that, and then you learn how to manage and move through situations with a different response. But she also said it's hard to heal and grow when you haven't released the trauma, which will go to the healing process. But so a lot of times with growth, let's take a bad relationship, and sometimes the relationships, you step away from the relationship and you become financially stable. You become more educated about what's going on with what you want to do. You start to learn how some of the ways that you want to be treated. You find your identity, and you may invest in some things. You may get a house. This is all growth and building. And a lot of times, that's what we do. You get back out here and you try to you put the puzzle back together that was shattered all over the place, and now you're ready, or you think you're ready from a mental standpoint. Like, yeah, I done healed. I done did this, I done did that. I took some time. I went to church. You know what I mean? I'm starting to get back to where I want to be. I'm starting to figure out who I am. But then, have you healed though? Like that's the biggest thing. So, and what she was saying about healing was you smooth. Hold on, how did she say it? It's hard to heal when you have the energy and the trauma in your body and in your mind. You want to release the trauma so you can do the work to heal your body and mind. So it's trying to create balance. If you don't have that balance, then you trigger that, which goes back to, how you got to be able to do both eventually. And I think, in my opinion, and I am, like I said, I'm gonna do a whole series of dating without what's my man Derek Jackson. But I think a lot of times, and I'm just using dating because I feel like it's so relevant to what's going on out here with dating, that a lot of times men and women, they have grown, but they haven't healed from past situations. And then they bring that trauma, them negative, or what you want to call it, toxic traits, into another situation. And then the moment you're triggered, boom, you go right back to the whole, oh, this person is just this person is just that. And there's no growth within the relationship because neither one of y'all have healed. And I think that's with anything you do. If you've been, for instance, I had a situation with with work. You know what I mean? Not this job, but jobs before. If you follow me, then you know what job I'm talking about. Where I just, to me, I didn't cause trauma, but I couldn't understand, some of the way things were being ran, and you know what I mean, and et cetera, et cetera. And it took me a long time to heal from that. You know what I mean? Like I grew from it because I went and got another job. I made sure I didn't do X, Y, and Z or treat my staff like this. But then you're triggered by something that happens that you didn't, deal with, and I think that's big with like our families, how some of us deal with our parents in situations, you know what I mean? Like I didn't realize, through counseling that how triggered I am by certain abandonment situations, you know what I mean? And it could be from people saying that they're going to do something and don't do it, you know what I mean? Or people not coming to work, you know what I mean? So that's a form of like abandonment for me, like as a trigger, so I think the healing process is how do you find a way to deal with those triggers, you know what I mean? And you won't ever be able to, some of that stuff, it's hard to let go. But once you figure out what the trigger is, then your response is a whole lot better, and recognizing it. And what are your coping mechanisms? What are your tools? What are your keys? What do you go to so you don't lash out or fall back in this depression? And I think that's what we got to find a way to find some balance between growth and healing. And which one are you doing? You know what I mean? And can you do both? Or do you need to do one and then do the other? But you can't, you know what I mean? And in my opinion, be out here in society, dating, saying that you over this or you over there, dealing with your family members, dealing with X, Y, and Z, and you're not healing or growing, you know what I mean? Or you're growing, but you're not healing, or you're healing and not growing. And I think you got to find like balance in both of them. And I think excuse the phone ringing, but I think it's very important to be able to find that type of balance within the two. But it was a great, I think y'all should check it out. It's Charlamagne the God, a video with Miss Ayana, and it got me to thinking like, man, what could I talk about today? And to me, this is so vital in your success, because we gun ho on growing, but then we not gun ho on healing. And we are traumatized as a forget slavery, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times we wasn't, not saying forget it as like it's, you know what I mean, like get rid of it. I'm just saying we immediately didn't deal with it. We deal with like our parents being toxic, some of the situations that you were in, poverty, people that's seeing people die, you know what I mean? Like we're traumatized. It could be being in tornadoes, where car accidents. We're traumatized, and then we don't heal. We grow from it, but we don't heal from it. And I think this was like, it was an eye opener, like, man. So I went back and thought about like, man, have I done both? And I feel like I still need to do some more healing and growing. You know what I mean? I don't think you could ever be in a place in life where you just got all the answers, or you feel like you just, this is it. I done maxed out my potential in everything that I do, and that's no way you could do that. Like the way life is set up, there's no way you could do it. But yeah, so as I close out, this is actually a shorter video. I just want y'all to kind of ask yourself, like, which one are you doing? Are you growing or are you healing? And then what are the steps you're gonna take to get where you need to be? But yeah, thank you. Like, subscribe, please, comment.